All right, guys, just a quick test. Whenever you guys get a new dive housing, whether it's generic or the OEM one, and believe it or not, my Insta360 one, I think there's a leak, and I think the O-ring, the rubber seal, it's actually worn out. So I actually bought a generic one because I'm going on a trip. I won't get the Insta360 one on time. I've got you one of these already, and they work really good. I've had no issues with third-party dive housings. This one's a little different. This one has the black, I think it's a newer version of this. It has a cold shoe on the top, it has a cold shoe on the left. The other one I have only has a cold shoe on the top, not on the left-hand side. This one is actually for the Ace Pro 2 as well as the Ace Pro. They're both the same. Just remember that when you do the Ace Pro 2, you do have to remove that speaker cap for it to fit in the housing that you buy off the AliExpress or Amazon. I'm just going to do a water test, which I always do when I buy new casing, just to make sure that it's okay. So I've got the camera in here. I'm just going to actually turn it on. So I'll set up to 4K 60 on free video. And I'm just going to drop it in the water. It's going to film this way. Hopefully I don't have a leak. If there's a leak, I just have to return that. So I'm just hit the record. I have this thing. You guys will love it. This thing right here is actually a beer dispenser I've had for years. I never really use it. And the only reason I use this is because it's long enough that I can actually drop a couple of these cameras with the selfie stick into it. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So all I do is I just drop this in. And I just do a test. And I'll leave it in there for, if it's shooting, I'll leave it in there for probably about 20 minutes, 30 minutes and see if there's any leak. You'll usually know if there's a leak right away. And it usually goes around the O-ring. The reason why there's a leak around the O-ring is a couple issues. One, the O-ring is just bad O-ring there. I've got cases where the O-ring is too small. But the case itself, the black lid actually closes very tightly, so that creates a seal. This one is actually not too bad. I don't see any visible leaks or any water getting in. I'll do a 15-minute recording test, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it out, I'm gonna stop recording, I'm gonna drop it in, I'll leave it in there for about an hour, and then I'll pop it out and I'll see if there's any leak in the case at all. But I don't see any leaks. Usually you can tell by bubbles. And I don't see any penetration, whether through the lens cavity area, or usually it goes through the side and you'll see it through the side, but I don't see anything so far. Anyways, I'll leave it as it is. And definitely, guys, if you ever get a new dive case, do a quick test, do a quick water test at home before you take it out in the water. Because by the time you take it out in the salt water or whatever, and you're diving or whatever and it leaks, it's too late by then, right? So it's good to have this test in it. If there's leak, you can always get exchange or return it or whatever. And now I do this with every one of my cases. Anyways, hope this helps. Enjoy. Ciao. All right, it's been recording for about 15-20 minutes, so I took it out. The best thing to do is when you take it out, it's going to be all wet, so just pat it down with the tissue paper. And especially the top area here where you're going to see a lot of water collect on the inside of the hinge, but that shouldn't penetrate through the case. Give it a good clean. I actually, the couple things I forgot to mention is when you have in the water, just press the buttons, because that's also an area where it can leak when you press the buttons. So I actually used both buttons. I did the on and off button and also the shutter button, the record button, and just a few times, press it down, keep it down, press it down, keep it down, just to give that and make sure that seal inside the button is actually also working, because you will be using those buttons when you're underwater. So just easily open the case. There's actually a nice, I like these cases. It has a secondary locking mechanism, so you can't accidentally open that without pressing this button right here. So if you press that up, lift it, and then it unlocks the case. So just give that a good pat. There's water underneath there. There's water in this bottom plate here. Okay, so just slowly open the case and just inspect it and make sure there's no water. I don't see any water behind here, and usually you'll see water penetrating the end. Let me just get my glasses. I can't see. My glasses. Yeah, I can't see any visible water around the case here at all. And then just pop it out. Yeah. Yeah. Gotta do that. So I don't see any water in here as well. Nothing at the bottom. Nothing inside the case, so I know it's working. There's no water getting through. Now what I'm going to do is I'm also going to do one thing. when I'm recording, I only leave it in there for 15-20 minutes. It's because I'm only recording for so long, right? Once I'm done with the camera test, I'll do an actual case test. So I'll actually put some tissue paper, get some tissue paper, and just bunch it up and put it in there. And make sure you close the lid and don't have the paper sticking out. One time I did this, one of the edges of the paper was actually sticking out of the seal and actually leaked through. That's all it takes for the water to penetrate. It's just that one little, it could even be a hair that can cause a leak. It's that, because when your pressure builds up, it's gonna start pushing through those seals, right? Okay, I think I'm okay. So close her up, and you're in here, and you'll see that I'll drop it down here again. Guys, all right, this came out of water. It's been in the this little tub of my test tub for about 2.5 hours. So just take it out and just kind of dry it off like I did before when I tested out with the camera itself. I don't see, so the reasoning behind the tissue is inside is so if there's a leak, you can actually see it soak in with the tissue, and I don't see anything. Oh shoot, see what happened here? I didn't seal it properly, so I got caught a bit of the tissue right on the edge there. I don't know if you guys can see it there. So yeah, that didn't but again, let's open it up. If it's waterproof, then it wouldn't have penetrated through just that one part. So like, just to like see where that's caught right in the edge, so it didn't really go right inside. So only that part of it is wet right here, but it didn't penetrate through the rest of the so that's good. That was dumb on my part, and I didn't see a hair or even a little lint or something that gets caught on there. And a lot of people don't realize it. They think that there's something wrong with their case. I've had this happen to me with a DJI camera mount, and I came up and it was literally the water inside. It wasn't a lot. I'm like, what the heck's going on? And I've used that case many times, never had any issues with it. And I noticed there was a hair. My wife has long hair. There was a great big long, I don't know how her hair got in here. It was sticking right out of the case. I didn't even know it when I closed the latch. And when you go deeper, the pressure, when you're shallow, probably that hair won't make a difference. But I think it was 100 feet dive we were at. And at 100 foot, that little hair line, the pressure of the water will actually seep in. It's not going to flood it. It's going to go in slowly. And when I got it out, there was actually a little bit of water around the side. And thank God I had those moisture pads that I always put into my camera, because that moisture pad actually picked up most of that water coming in. So it wasn't bad on a 100-foot dive. It was a little hair. I thought it was something wrong with my case, but it wasn't. It was my stupidity. I didn't always when you're diving, guys, just check. I thought I had the tissue all the way in, but that was just a little bit that was just caught in a corner there, and the water got in. So it doesn't take much for that to happen. Anyways, that's it. Ciao.